me Brian Bransford with the guitar, and maybe some a cappella songs. But anyway, I can really feel that the band represents the spirit, the new spirit that is rising in this church. And we can really thank God for sending Pastor Unmi, that second generation spirit, that it's a real a go spirit, wanting to do things the way the second gen want to see things go. And and I see this across the whole country, and it's very, very hopeful. And I feel that Seattle Family Church is really starting to get that momentum and go forward. So it's very good to come down here. Thank you. So, there are times when you may wonder about your life of faith. You may ask yourself, have I accomplished anything? I still continue to pray, but I don't feel closer to God than before. I'm still battling with the same old sins. I don't feel as motivated and as energetic as I used to feel. And currently I'm wondering about what to think about True Mother being kept in detention in Korea. So I think that at times like this, it's a time to review your what's going on in your life of faith. And that's what we are going to do today as 2025 draws to a close. And when we do that, you might find that indeed your faith, your life of faith really needs to become more vibrant. Or you might find that you have accomplished quite a bit, and therefore that victories can be claimed. The purpose of our doing this, of reviewing our life of faith, is that so we can make adjustments necessary or savor the victories to give us energy so we can go into 2026 healthy and strong and ready to keep on waging the good fight. At the end of this sermon, you're going to be given time to reflect how well you lived out your life of faith in 2025. It'll be time to do that. You won't ask to hand anything in. This exercise will just be between you and God. So, as you can see, the title of my sermon is Claim Your Victories. And I would like to start with some quotes. If I can get that there. So, oh, okay. The first is from the Bible, 1 Peter 5, 8-9. Be self-controlled and alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that your brothers throughout the world are undergoing the same kind of sufferings. And next is from True Mother, in a message she gave in 2024. True victory is not conquering others, but our own selfishness and living for the greater good. So, what does it mean to claim the victory? Well, in the general sense, it is the act of declaring oneself the winner of a contest or the overcomer of some challenge. So, for example, I won the tennis match, or I won the chess game, or I was promoted, I've been promoted to the CEO. So you're claiming that you've accomplished something and you're proclaiming it. But in the spiritual sense, it's referring to, It's referring to faith in action. It means living with hope and confidence by aligning your thoughts and actions with God's word and trusting in God's power. When you do that, good developments will come and victories can be claimed. So I'd like to talk about the spiritual circumstances in the world that require us to do things like shoring up our faith. So, brothers and sisters, I think it's fair to say, whether you joined the Family Federation or whether you were born into the Family Federation, many of you are excited about your faith. And a lot of the excitement comes from our confidence that we have the most complete answers to all the questions people have about God and about life. The most complete answers. All the other religions have some answers, but I haven't come across any religion that has the complete answers like we have. The name of this man you see on the screen is Bertrand Russell. He was a famous English philosopher in the 19th century. He said there were 4 philosophical questions that science at that time couldn't answer. And they were these: survival after death first, second, third, the purpose of the universe, and fourth, the significance of life within the cosmos. Brothers and sisters, throughout history, all the great minds, none of the great minds have been able to come up with answers to these questions. But, brothers and sisters, the divine principle has clear answers to all of these questions. We can explain about the nature of God, and we can explain about the nature of our relationship with God. And we can explain about the purpose of life. And we can explain how, by receiving the marriage blessing, we can free ourselves from the accusations of Satan and be connected into the lineage of God. To that I say, wow, wow, wow. It really deserves a wow. So we are excited about our faith, but when we go out to share it, we receive persecution. We are accused of being heretics by people who really don't know anything about what we believe. Father Moon is compared to Stalin and Hitler, and recently in Korea, True Mother was branded as being a heretic, as being a boss of a corrupt religious empire. Can you believe that? That's the prosecutor in Korea said that. Why does this happen? Persecution. People, aren't we just fuzzy love balls who only want to share a truth that we know will make people's lives better? The answer is yes. Indeed, that's who we are. Going out into a world where Satan is God and ruler of this world. We're going out into the fallen world where there is ongoing spiritual warfare between good and evil. In that world, Satan is the king of evil. In the Garden of Eden, he snatched the word out of people's hearts and cut them off from the heart of God, leaving them in spiritual ignorance and blindness. He lies to people about God, telling them that God doesn't exist. When people live as if God doesn't exist, there is no God, and that therefore there is no absolute moral standard, then by default, people follow the god of this world, Satan. And that's why the world is in the mess it is in today. So the world at heart is atheistic. And Satan persecutes and attacks anything to do with God. That's why he attacks religions, and that's why he attacks godly people like you and I. He truly is the roaring lion prowling around, looking for someone who he can devour, who he can spiritually destroy and kill, like it says in the Bible. Let's face it, brothers and sisters, it's discouraging to be constantly persecuted for one's faith. It can lower your spiritual morale. It can make you feel that you are doing something wrong in sharing your faith. And it can make you lead to doubt your faith. So, our faith takes a beating living in this fallen world. And therefore, we have to be constantly doing things to shore it up, to keep it strong. One thing we can do is to divide faith into different categories and see if there's anything you did in any of these categories that you could claim as a victory. These victories could be big or they could be small. It doesn't really matter. As long as they are victories you want to claim loud and that you want to claim proud, at least to yourself and to God. So to examine our faith at the end of 2025, I have divided faith into 8 categories. I did this. I have chosen them. You may choose different categories. And let me say this. Norika Fisher got up and gave her testimony about a great victory. That was a big victory, and that was certainly worthy to be proclaimed. Misan Nelson got up and pointed to victories won on the personal level, on the small level. You know, it's said that God is found in the details, but I think God is also found in the details. Because that's where a lot of the victories are really can be found. It's the victories that you have in your daily life walk of faith. So anyway, I've divided faith into 8 categories, and here they are. So the first is relationship with God. This talks about the quality of our relationship with God. Second is attendance to true parents. We are encouraged to be filial sons and daughters of our true parents, of true parents. Third is study of the Word. The Word connects us to the heart and to the desire and love of God. So it's very important. Next is prayer life. Prayer is the way we communicate with God. So we have to keep an eye on the quality of our prayer. Our moral standard. This refers to how we align our thoughts and actions to the Word of God. We should always be striving to live to a higher moral standard. Regular church activities. Those activities are the bread and butter of our faith, of our and of our commitment to the traditions and practices of our church. Appreciation of all things of creation. This refers to our love and appreciation of the creation and our being good stewards of the creation. And the eighth and the last one is service and sacrifice to others. This basically refers to living for the sake of others and witnessing and outreach to the community. So these are the 8 categories of faith I've chosen. So when you are doing your reflection after this service, try to recall if there's anything you did in 2025 in any of these categories that you can claim as a victory. So, but before you do that, I would now like to give you some examples of what might be regarded as a victory in these different categories of faith. Maybe one of these examples I give applied to you during your 2025 walk of faith. If they do, you can claim them as victories. And everything that I'm going to be talking about now, all can be claimed as victories. You may have done similar things, you may have done more. But anyway, whatever you did, claim it as a victory. So let's start with our relationship with God. Maybe in 2025, you felt you've become too distant from God. So what did you do? Maybe you decided to meditate and pray more about the pain that God has felt in his heart during the course of restoration. Or maybe you wanted to trust God more with matters in your life. So maybe in 2025, if struggles and difficulties came to you, instead of worrying about them and complaining to God about them, you took them to God and you gave them to God and asked God to work his mighty hand in the resolution of those problems. Maybe in our attendance to true parents, the challenge for we who are making efforts to become filial sons and daughters to true parents in 2025 is to remain united with true mother during her detention and trial in Korea. That's our challenge. To do that, maybe in 2025 you've been praying for her release. Maybe you held on to an absolute determination to believe in her innocence. Or maybe you fully expect God to claim mother's suffering and use it to vindicate her and to bring a great blessing for the family federation in 2026. In the study of the Word, in 2025, maybe you wanted to immerse yourself more deeply in the Word. So that maybe you set aside more time to study the Word. Maybe you practiced unceasing prayer. Or maybe you found a prayer closet being any quiet place where you can pray without interruption. Sorry, I think I got ahead of myself there. Anyway, so that... that's right. That's a godly guy. Maybe in 2025 you wanted to work on having a higher moral standard in your life, to become like that. To do that, maybe you made effort to embody some of the character virtues that are found in Galatians 5:22 to 23. Those virtues of love and joy and peace, patience and kindness and goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. If you do that, that's the type of person you're going to become. Conversely, maybe you made extra effort to rein in your fallen nature by avoiding the sins as laid out in Galatians 5:19 to 21. Sexual immorality, impurity, lustful pleasures, idolatry, hostility, quarreling, jealousy, anger, selfish motive, ambition, dissension, division, envy, drunkenness. Oh my goodness. I didn't know a person could become so bad, but we may not have all those sins within us, but I'm sure we've got one or two. And so if you made effort to rein in, to distance yourself from those sins, then that's a victory. Regular church activities. Again, these are the activities that refer to the basic traditions and practices of our church. These include Sunday service attendance. A victory would be to attend Sunday service regularly and to attend on time. Boy, that would be a major victory, actually. Tithing. A victory in this area could involve increasing your tithing to the 10% level. Did you do that? I mean, that's something you could have done. I don't know whether you did do that, but if you did do that, that would be a victory. Holy days. A victory in 2025 could have mean that you made the effort to study the meaning and significance of these holy days. Many times I really don't know the meaning and significance of those days. And Chonshiman attendance. A 2025 victory would have been making it a determination to attend one prayer vigil at least one time a week. Next, appreciation for all things of the creation. Maybe you wanted to better appreciate the love that God invested into the creation. To do that, maybe you set some time away each day to go out into the creation and to savor its order and peace and calm and beauty. I know when I go out to that, I start to slow down and I start to get into the pace of nature. It's a really wonderful experience. Or maybe you wanted to be a better stewardship of the creation. To do that, maybe you decided to take better care and to maintain better your car and your house. A simple thing like that would be a victory. And finally, brothers and sisters, service and sacrifice to others. The question is, how well did you live for the sake of others in 2025? In 2025 in Bellingham, we did pretty well on this. We did pretty well on this point, and we could claim some many victories. These included the following. Some brothers and sisters volunteered to participate in the Adopt a Highway litter control program. One brother volunteered to help out in the local food bank once a week. And one brother picked apples and pears from his fruit trees and took those out to the food bank. So, brothers and sisters, if you did some of these, great. And if you did none of these, it's okay. Because by looking at your faith and seeing that you didn't do any of these, then you know that, I've got work to do. And that's going to also push you on to having a stronger faith and doing better in 2026. So, know who that is? Of course you know. Satan does not want you claiming victories in your life of faith. If you do, he will try to dispute those victories and to dismiss them. You may hear him say, "What? You claim that small act of faith as a victory? That's not a victory. That's just fluff." Don't listen to Satan, brothers and sisters. His words are the words of death. Let me tell you a story that will provide you with a way to respond to Satan when he says that. During World War II in Europe, near the end of the war, 1944, during the Battle of the Bulge, a company of American soldiers was surrounded by the Germans. The German commander sent a message calling on the American commander, that's you see there, General William McAuliffe, to surrender. General McAuliffe defiantly answered back with one word: nuts. This word showed the courage of the Americans and their refusal to yield. In essence, the word nuts means go to hell. Therefore, brothers and sisters, when Satan tries to make you doubt your claims for spiritual victory, just say to Satan, nuts. That is, go to hell, Satan, where you belong. Get away from me. I'm one of God's heavenly soldiers. That type of boldness. We need that type of boldness in our life of faith. We are the victors. Satan's the loser. He's brought a losing environment into the world. So we are the heavenly soldiers in that song, marching on, marching on. We really are. That's the spirit that we have. And just like, that spirit represents the fact that we're not going to yield, and we're going to bring victory. So, another thing that Satan does, he tries to get you to focus, give you tunnel vision on some small sin or character flaw that you have. And he will use those to ridicule you and to endlessly ridicule you and to accuse you. Why does he do that? He does that because he wants to keep you from looking at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture, brothers and sisters? The bigger picture is that the kingdom of heaven will inevitably come. God has purpose, and He will do it. And the victories won by Jesus and by true parents help to guarantee it. We are not waiting, brothers and sisters. We are not waiting for Jesus to come victoriously on the clouds to bring in the kingdom of heaven. The principle says we have to take responsibility and fulfill our portion of responsibility to make that happen. To fulfill that responsibility, we have to have a strong faith. In Ephesians 6:10-18, St. Paul encourages us to see ourselves as heavenly soldiers. And in battle with Satan and the evil demons, and to put on the full armor of God before we go into battle. And he talks about the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation. He talks about the shoes of the gospel. He talks about the belt of truth. And he talks about the breastplate of righteousness. You can't see those when we go out the door to reach out to people. But spiritually, they are there because you've prepared, you've prayed, you've studied, and you're on your way. So it's good to keep that sort of victorious, soldierly mindset with you. So, brothers and sisters, in conclusion, it's good to review. I think we can come to that conclusion. It's good to review your faith and claim victories in order to keep our faith strong and healthy. And even though we are doing it today, as 2025 comes to a close, I would like to encourage you to do it periodically during 2026, so that once again you can better continue to fight the good fight. And please keep in mind, brothers and sisters, that there are benefits from having a strong life of faith. Over time, when we make effort in our faith walk, our faith matures. We know more, we've overcome many struggles, and as this begins to happen, we start to experience more peace and more joy because we're able to hold back Satan. We're able to focus on doing good and to practicing good. So life becomes good. So it's good to have a strong life of faith. And you find that you more naturally want to continue into keeping on with living your life of faith. You don't want to, you're not looking for excuses to back off and to find reasons to not be involved. So why do we have to keep on going? That's because Family Federation members, we have a very significant mission before us. We have the mission to expose the origins of Satan's love and to beat it on the individual level, the family level, the national level, and the world level, and to restore happiness and joy and hope to God. That's what we're doing. I don't think there's anybody in any other faith could explain it so clearly. So, brothers and sisters, let's go out there and accomplish that mission, and let's do it on the foundation of a strong faith. There she is. That's true mother. It may seem that she's not, even in detention, she's leading the charge. Let's keep that in mind. So please join me in prayer. Heavenly Parent, we are so grateful to be a part of this august body of heavenly brothers and sisters, your sons and daughters. We're excited about our faith. We're charging forward. No matter what comes against us, we know the victory is assured. It's just a matter of time and how we apply all the spiritual knowledge and traditions that we have to overcoming this fallen world. Thank you, Heavenly Parents, because you're the one, more than any other, you're the one who persevered and have brought us to the point of victory where we are today. And again, as I said, Jesus and true parents have also brought us here. And so, Heavenly Parents, from here, we want to go on from here and capitalize on those victories, Heavenly Parents, and to do that by constantly reviewing our faith to see that we're remaining strong and that we're motivated to keep on going, Heavenly Parents, to bring in that final, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Chanoguk, the world where everything is united in peace. So thank you, Heavenly Parents. Please join us for the rest of this year, and please may this service be a foundation to victoriously enter and begin in 2026. Thank you. I pray this in my name, David Ryan, the Ryan family attending Holy Mother Han. June. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to leave these 8 points up there. So, when you're doing your review, you may, if you want to, refer to those. So, I'll hand that back to the MC now.